Hey guys, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome to another Mermaid Workshop video. I'm going to be working on this beautiful tail today in this video and giving you guys a little bit of info on it. So before I get started on today's video, I want to take a sec to let you guys know I've decided to do a special sale in my store to celebrate the holiday season. The code is Fishmas and you can redeem it at shopvancouvermermaid.com, and the sale ends December 25th. Now on to today's video. Right on. So this is Mermaid Moongazer's newest tail that I made for her. This tail is in fact actually based off of her current silicone tail. She wanted something that, like sort of a fabric version of it. I had a lot of fun sort of collabing with her on this one. I wanted to obviously get the essence, and I apologize for the guy honking his car horn in the background. Hopefully that's not picking up. It never fails as soon as I want to start recording some dialogue, then bam, some guy in his car horn. But yeah, so this is supposed to be based off of her silicone tail. I wanted to give kind of my own spin on it as well, because I don't really, I feel kind of bad just like reproducing somebody else's artwork. That's not really kind of cool. I don't like when people do that to me, so I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to have like the essence, the kind of feeling of it, so that way she could have some continuity when she's swimming in her fabric tail, and then when she's swimming in her silicone tail, you can kind of still have that same Mermaid Moongazer vibe. It's kind of like how I've always had very similar colors, short of like goldfish and that other purple tail I made. Besides those two, I am typically a green and blue mermaid. This one was interesting. This is the first one I've done where I've had a monofin that was too big to fold the fabric vertically in on itself, or vertically, horizontally, in half, lengthwise. Widthwise. I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. Anyways, so I actually had to have two separate sheets of the fabric, which does make these tails a little bit pricier to do when you have to have, because you have to essentially get twice as much fabric as you normally would for, say, the Aquarius or the Luna. So it was interesting to do though, because it allowed me to try a different way of making a tail where I actually didn't have the print go all the way to the edge of the fabric. I actually had it sort of outlined. You could see me cutting around the outline at that point. Yeah, lining them up is the trick. I was contemplating actually after I did this one if there was a way to use my light box. I have like a light table or light box. If I could somehow use it so that I didn't, because you can see here I'm trying to, where does it line up? Come on, Courtney, figure it out. Oh man, it's quite the pain. This is the only part that's a little bit finicky, but yeah, then I'm using my trusty coaster weights there. Yeah. This one was really fun to do. I was happy with how this design turned out, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying seeing some of this behind the scenes stuff. I think a lot of people are actually under the impression that I have like a facility that makes these for me or something. I don't know. I actually make these all by myself. Short of having a company do the printing for me, I mean the design and everything is actually all done by myself on my own equipment at home, so they are a labor of love. I will say that for sure. Yeah, here I'm just checking. I like to do that periodically as I have stuff pinned. I just recommend though, if you do have stuff pinned, be aware of which way the pins are facing when you put your hand through the fabric to pull it through. I poked myself a couple of times and got just in my haste to pull it through, so always good to make sure you're not stabbing yourself in the arm. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I actually quite like the shape of this monofin too. It's not one that I've tried before. I believe it's a Suntails monofin. I think that's what this one is. I'm trying to see it off of my screen right now as I'm working. I like the shape. I will be a Venice Luna fan until the day I die. I tell you, that thing is my favorite baby ever. But I do wonder if they'll do other shapes for it as well, especially now that the Mertailer has his kind of silicone fin that he's got going on there, so I'll be interested to see what comes of that. And then it's back down to sewing, but I really love that. I feel like they listened to us, to the mermaid kind of community there, on what we would have wanted as a as a new monofin to replace some of the older kind of versions, so yeah. My sewing machine was having a really hard time this weekend. I did a lot of sewing this weekend and my poor sewing machine was just crying. Oh gosh. It's hard. You know, the fabric's actually quite thick. This is a thing that a lot of people don't realize. The fabric I use is actually a lot thicker than just your average spandex mermaid tail. I was really pleased to see that these weren't see-through in the way that other mermaid tails are. I was pretty happy when I was first making these, because that was the big question. I wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but oddly enough, it works really well. So I think I'm watching Crown, like The Crown in the background. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at something apparently. Yeah, I really enjoy making these mermaid tails, but it is funny when people think like that I don't make them myself or something. I'm not sure where that comes from, especially because I have all of those mermaid school videos and tutorials on tail making. Like I thought that's what I was known for, was making my own tails, guys. It's what I do. It's what makes me happy. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to have to learn how to use my sergers so I can have a different finish on the edges. Oh, what happened to me? Oh yeah. But yeah, if you're interested, there is, I have a whole bunch of tutorials on actually how to sew and how to make your own mermaid tails. If you go through my playlists, I think I'll also have it linked at the end of this video as well. I haven't given a tutorial on how to make the printed tail specifically, just because that one's a really different, that's the kind of thing like I don't, you know, I actually went to school to learn how to use Photoshop sort of professionally. It's what I use for a living. Like this is not my full-time job, right? I do this on the side. So, oh, and now this is a different day. I actually got so tired by the end of the day. Like I had worked pretty much the whole day, and I was like, and I think Courtney's finished now. Courtney's done. Courtney needs a break, you know. So yeah, I was just finishing the waistband there. And what I do is I make it kind of like a little pocket. I just sort of line the fringe up, and then I kind of sew, I'll hand stitch around with the monofin actually in there to make sure I have a really accurate way to do it. And it also makes it so that I can see whether or not I've got the spacing right. The cool part about this monofin is it actually has really, really rounded edges. Like there's no rough edges, so it makes it really, it's not like the Aquarius where you have to leave a little bit of space, because the Aquarius will actually poke a hole through your tail if you're not careful. So this one was actually really fun to make the monofin pocket for. It was a lot easier than it's been. Like the Luna's the same way. The Luna's really easy to make a monofin pocket for because the darn thing bends. It's incredible. Like as long as you leave a little bit of extra room so that the fabric doesn't pull your monofin, like squish it, just because it is flexible. Oh, you can see I'm just getting horribly frustrated with my machine. I was, oh yeah, I was like, I really need a new machine, you guys. I really love my little Singer, but boy, she likes to give me a hard time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You're going to be coming towards the end of it soon. If you're interested in more like this, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up so I know. I'm going to have one more of these videos, actually probably 2 more of these videos coming up. And don't forget to swim on over to my Patreon page and join my Patreon pod if you're interested in some more behind the scenes, more behind the scenes look at what it is I do as a mermaid and other fun rewards. And thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Alright, happy swimming! Bye!